When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.
Evening and welcome to Touchy Gooners. I am today's host. It's me, your boy Shabs, and I'm joined today by Rilwan. Rilwan, how you doing?
I'm all right, man. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good, thanks. And I've got Leroy in the building.
Yo, what's good, man?
Yeah, good. Just quickly, man, I just want to do a quick plug to our Patreon. Big shouts to all of our Patreon subscribers. Please continue to share, let people know about it. There's good exclusive content on the Patreon. So if you haven't already signed up, make sure you sign up. There's different price packages as well for to suit your needs, to suit your budget. So, you know, some of you, you know, it's cheaper than a 5 wing meal, you know, from Morley's or wherever it is that you lot go now. So yeah, man, free up the coins and go take that in. Also, Discord, you know, me, Leroy and Lewis were on there again last night during last night's game. Say it again.
Getting hammered, bro.
Getting hammered, but so it is, like, you know, we show up, win, lose, draw, whatever the weather, you know. So those of you who haven't joined up Discord as well, it's a different way of watching and experiencing football matches, man. So please do take that in as well. And make sure you hit us up as well on the socials, on Twitter. And also some people will just be listening to this podcast on audio, but it's also available on YouTube as well. So make sure you take that in. But yeah, I kind of just want to come into it because a lot has happened. We keep saying the games are coming thick and fast. And obviously we had the small matter of an FA Cup semi-final victory over Manchester City on Saturday evening. You know, but we haven't really met to record since then. So what are you guys' thoughts on that game? I know it was a couple of days ago, but it was a huge victory, and it's you know, Mikel Arteta within his first 6 months in the job, he's got us into an FA Cup final, and it is a victory against a big club, against Man City as well. So we've got another final to look forward to against Chelsea. But yeah, what are your thoughts and reflections on Saturday night's game?
Do you know what? I was happy, obviously. Like, I thought, yeah, it was a very, very good result for us and a much-needed result. And it gives us at least 2 cracks at the whip going for the Europa League and playing in Europe, which is very important for us. I think a lot of people are going a bit overboard with the performance because a lot of people are saying how it was an amazing performance. Personally, I thought City had control of the game from start to finish. They didn't particularly play well themselves, but even then, it was a resolute performance. We dug in. We played okay defensively. Like, David Luiz had a very good game. A lot of our defenders played pretty well. Tierney played well, but I don't understand how people can say you played so well when you had zero control of the game. That's just not. That's not.
No. Let me interject there. So, go on.
I was going to ask Leroy, but I don't know, Rilwan, if you might feel similar. But do you think that was because I don't think we're ever really going to have control against Man City with the side that we have, but yeah, kind of. Don't you think that's because Arteta is kind of hamstrung in the resources that he has available to him at this point in time, or is it something different that you would have hoped to?
No. Listen, I'm aware of what he's working with, like, and I'm happy he's done it. And if he plays City again, I'd expect him to do the same thing. Yeah. But my point is, I can't start going, oh man, that was an amazing.
Yeah.
When even against no matter who we play, we're just lucky they didn't play very well, and they're lucky they didn't convert their promising situations and promising possession and pressure into anything. Because I'm not sure how much it is of our brilliance that stopped them doing that, as in their sloppy play and their inability to convert, rather than sort of our amazing defending and our amazing tactical masterclass, if you know.
But that's kind of twofold though, because we're never ever going to be able to play them off the park. So okay, we've decided to play like this. When you defend like this, you make teams play sloppy. So I think it's actually us. We didn't let them gain confidence from playing well because we defended so well. And that's what it was about. Like we're Arsenal fans. We've seen teams play like this before, and the longer it goes on, the worse your team seems to play, because it just seems like today's going to be one of those days where you're not going to score. So I give us massive credit for that performance. Like I didn't think we was able to defend like that. That performance reminded me of something Atletico Madrid would do. And
what do you think of kind of talking about what Mikel Arteta does have and the resources available at his disposal? How, what are you guys' thoughts on the starting lineup, the team that he chose to field on Saturday? Happy with it? Any interjections?
I was happy with it. There's really and truly any starting 11 he picks, there's not a lot we can argue with, because it's not like we have a great choice of players where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe he's dropped this guy, or I can't believe he's not playing this guy, or that. It's kind of like whatever's available you play, whatever the situation is. I'm going to trust the manager, because we don't really have any players that are in like amazing form that deserve to be undroppable. Maybe Penny. I could even understand him dropping Aubameyang, even though all our goals are coming from him, because some of his performances have been shit. So yeah, whatever team he picks, I can kind of understand it. The only people that really worry me is obviously Kolasinac and Mustafi, but you kind of either or one of with those two players.
Yeah.
We don't really have the depth to be fussy right now, man.
Yeah.
When we were looking at it, and we had a group talk in the group chat, people complaining about obviously Villa's lineup. I'm like, what do you want him to do? Like, he can't keep flogging the players. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not really have much of a choice right now. Arteta's doing more with the tools he's got. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me personally, what I liked about Saturday's game was that Arteta definitely played with his brain. I think he these things are like a game of cat and mouse, aren't they? Or like well, not cat and mouse. What am I trying to think of? It's like a quick draw, isn't it? And it's like who kind of shows their hand first and who's quickest to respond to it. And I think Arteta had Pep's number, and I think Pep had a number of different things that he could have done, such as his expertise and the tools that he has at his disposal, such as the quality that City have got throughout. But I think there were definitely limitations to what Arsenal were able to do. And I think what I noticed were that we set really good pressing traps for City. I was talking about this a little bit on the player ratings that Lewis and I done on Monday. Anyone who hasn't taken that in yet, please, on the Patreon, just go over and have a look at that. But like I saw Lacazette was closing down Gundogan. Yeah, so he kind of went and stood on him, and you had Aubameyang and Pepe closing down the centre-backs. We kind of left the full-backs free because they kind of pushed out wide. And our central midfielders, so Xhaka and Ceballos, would push up as well to close down KDB and Silva. So that left a huge space behind our midfield. And Ederson kind of went to pump the ball into that zone for, I always call him Robinho, because he's definitely not Robinho, but I always call him Robinho, He's
Jesus and Sterling.
Gabriel Jesus. And Sterling even. But that was where David Silva was really dominant, and he was excellent on the night in terms of his duels. He won like 100% of his aerial duels.
You think he was excellent on the night?
In terms of his numbers, David Luiz.
Oh, okay.
David
Luiz.
David Luiz.
David Silva. Sorry.
David Luiz. David Luiz is excellent. He won everything in the air.
Yeah.
Won everything on the ground. But that was where he really came into action. And he was just winning balls in the air and getting it under. He was a bit of a creative source. Well, no, he wasn't a bit of a creative source, but he was good on the ball. And there was an opportunity early on at 0-0 where he won the ball, played it through for Aubameyang, and Oba should have scored. He should have put that in the back of the net, man.
But I thought he was going to bottle it still.
Yeah.
After that, I thought it was game over still. Them kind of chances, you don't really get that many chances against City.
He should have done that. But you can see, that was kind of what we done. And I think we couldn't really defend higher. There had to be that gap in the midfield, because any higher, we would have just got exposed. We would have got killed by Mahrez, we would have got killed by Sterling, and we would have got killed by Jesus on the break. So we kind of had to do that. And in the second half, Pep saw what was going on. He responded to that. And, they kind of built with like 2 men at the back, 2 in midfield. And then David Silva kind of floated. And then they had 5 guys just pushed up to pin our defence back. And so we spent a lot of the second half defending with 5 men at the back, pinned back. But Ceballos was excellent. He had an excellent game. Gave us a lot of relief. Just by being able to get on the ball and draw fouls or win free kicks, or just give us some relief, even though we didn't have a lot of possession. So yeah, that was pretty much the game plan from the way I saw it, and the fact that we was able to execute it, down to a T was fantastic. And players like Tierney had key roles in both goals. Aubameyang obviously got both goals. Pepe had some involvement in both goals as well. And this is kind of what you want to see. You know what I mean?
Also shout out Maitland for his performance at left back.
Oh yeah, your boy.
He had Mahrez in his pocket.
Your boy Ainsley.
That's another one. To be honest, I've got to give Arteta credit, because one thing he's really sorted out is our spacing.
Yeah.
And that was one of the biggest problems with Unai Emery. So we had no compactness on defending. And then we have no expansion when we try to attack.
Yeah,
we have no clue.
I'll tell you, really, really sorted that out. And that's why you've got players who, in our team, we can't really run and can't really operate in big spaces, looking very competent, like Xhaka, for example.
Yeah. Absolutely.
As another example. So
absolutely.
One thing I've got to credit Arteta for is he looks like he has such a very good understanding of the game. And because of that, he has a good understanding and a good read of players. And player weaknesses and player strengths. Yeah. Because he's using his players in the best way he can, and he's getting the best out of them because of that.
Absolutely.
That reason. So I've got to give him a lot of credit for that. And I really, really would love to see what he would do if he had players that aren't as limited as ours. So then it gives him more creativity as a coach.
Yeah. I would just like to see his attacking patterns. That's the next thing that I want to see from him. I want to see how he develops the attack. Even if it's with shit players, I still just want to see, can you actually make these players look like they have an idea of what they're going to do when they stand forward? And then I'll be backing him on 2 million %, even though I'm at 100% already.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's a good point. That is something that we need to see more of, Rilwan. And then I suppose what you said, Leroy, it leaves you to wonder, because he is optimizing, what he gets out of the players, and the players are playing for him as well. There's no mistake. The players are playing for him in a way that they, Ljungberg was too short a time, too irrelevant a time, really, to give any kind of objective critique or opinion there. But Emery, we all know, we've all seen these players did not play for him. They didn't buy into his ideas. They didn't believe in him, and we all saw what that was like. He's he's a new coach. He's inexperienced, I think all he has is some sort of standing at the club as a former club captain. Some of the current playing squad will know him and remember him and have played alongside him, but it's not even that much. So in terms of being able to come in and make an impact, it seems like he has been able to do that. So again, touching on the points that you made, Leroy, about crediting him, because he seems to know how to be able to get the best out of players. He seems to have been able to have made a positive impact, and the application appears to be different as well. So players are really, 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 really running for him, really applying themselves, going out and demonstrating commitment in the game, like Saturday night's game, putting their bodies on the line, throwing themselves in front of balls and whatnot, which is what you want to see. And we saw similar in the Liverpool game. I know we touched on that in last week's pods. Don't need to go into that too much. But what do you then think about the comments, both of you, I suppose? What do you then think about the comments that Arteta made in the aftermath of the Liverpool game, and coming out and speaking about quality and, the gap between the application and that mental side of the game is actually now, for Arsenal, is actually, we've closed it. But the gap in quality is still there and it's huge and it needs to be addressed. You know, what do you guys think about that? And do you think he should have come out and said something like that, for example? Do you think he should have kept his mouth shut? And not really, it's not really for him.
Any opportunity he should fire at them still. I'm not going to lie. Any opportunity he should go at the board and put pressure on them, because as fans, we've sat there and we've seen club men come, like Arsene Wenger would always toe the line. He would never try and like unsteady the ship. But these guys have been sucking the club dry and not investing. They've just been letting the club tick over. And that's why we find ourselves in the position that we're in now. So any chance he gets, he should be putting the pressure on the board to say, look, I'm trying my best with what you've given me, but I need more if you want to achieve what you want to achieve.
And he's a perceptive guy because he's trying to keep everyone's feet on the ground as well, because we had 2 good results. But he's completely right. Obviously, the gap is huge, and it shows in the game like we had yesterday night. Because when you've got a bit more space to play and you're playing on a counter-attacking situations are much easier to manifest than in general attacking situations when you're actually having to construct an attack. You've got much less space. Oh wow, 4-1 Liverpool. That was a great goal. Sorry, but yeah, you got much less space to actually work with. And I don't like people were saying like Arteta's attack shit, but do you know the problem is he hasn't got any of the tools that you need in modern day football to create goals. So like. Pepe's not particularly a good dribbler, so we need people who can destabilise defences. So he's had to take obviously a man out of midfield and put a man in defence. So that puts him a man light, so we can't release that third midfielder to go and do that off the ball running, which is going to have problems. And he's not really got the dribblers out wide. He's obviously got Aubameyang, which is playing left as a shooter. Aubameyang in the centre doesn't really connect very well, so that's not a great thing if you're holding people in. Lacazette isn't really that mobile. Going to create half a yard, get with my movement type of thing to get off and pull defenders around, if that makes sense. He pins defenders rather than pulls them. And then,
he can't get away from his
and then our midfielders aren't really the type of midfielders, because if you have a midfield 2, if you're going to create goals with that, and not from a counter-attacking sense,
one has to be dynamic.
Midfielders. They've got to run off the ball. They've got to be able to run with the ball. They've got to be able to pass the ball quickly.
No incisive passer either.
Exactly.
No incisive passer in the squad. I think the closest that we have to an incisive passer is Ceballos, really.
But he's still a behind the ball midfielder. Both of them are behind the ball midfielders. The only real ahead of the ball midfielder we've got is Joe Willock. He's obviously not of the level and not got the technical ability and tactical nous yet to really make an impact on it. So I mean, I don't know what you can expect from Arteta in the midfield. We've got Aubameyang who's going to get goals and going to nick goals here and there. But I can see exactly why he set up this team in the way he has. And it makes sense from a footballing perspective in every level. So and I'm not really a big fan of a back three. So I'm not really too worried about this app, but I think he's right to highlight it and he's right to drum it home, because you know what, people can get gassed over performances like this. Oh, we beat City, we beat Liverpool, but we can't beat Villa. There's a reason we can't beat Villa, and the reason we can't beat Villa, we have none of the attacking tools that we need to do it.
And the thing is, none of our attacking players even complement each other. Like we can't even pick a certain style and stick to it. We can't play on the counter attack. We haven't got enough pace and we haven't got enough passes. We can't pin teams back. We haven't got enough movement. We haven't got enough passes. It's like everything is just...
There aren't partnerships in the attack. So in the way of... in fact, I'm not going to use that example. But certain football teams, have players who play in the attack. can't give these ops ammunition, you know what I mean? But I think those reading between the lines will be able to kind of...
They're listening on Discord, bruv. They're listening.
There one's there. But, certain players, could just work well together and make things happen. So, there's 2 of them or there's 3 of them popping off in the attack, kind of know how they work amongst each other, and they create chances for each other, or they make it happen for each other, But we're clearly lacking that. Man.
I saw a stat yesterday saying that Ozil and Pepe have created our most chances, and they're both on 30. They've both created 38 chances, and I'm thinking, when's the last time Ozil played? Has he even played 20 games this season in the Premier League?
I don't know.
How is he even still in the top of our chance creation? And Pepe's been in and out the team as well, and these are our two most creative players.
I don't know if that's a positively framed stat or a negatively framed stat. If I'm being honest with you, that I don't know. There's a few things wrong with that stat for me. I don't know how to take that information. If I'm being honest with you,
No, it's definitely negative because it's like my man's not in the team and we can't even create chances. One,
but is it? But do you know what I mean? Is it good that like despite the little that he's played, that's the amount of chances that he's been able to create? Is it good that Pepe's been able to create the same number of chances as our chief chance creator? Is it bad because it's that's 38 over the course of a whole season?
That's one a game. That's one a game.
I don't know how to. I don't know how to take it. And then Ozil hasn't played since the restart, which is is another thing.
KDB's on like 100. Like, bro.
Yeah, but also they're Man City's goal cover. They what's their XG? What's their predicted goal? About 3.9 per game, 3.95 per game.
Yeah.
They're expected to score on average four goals per game. Which is
that's insane.
That's crazy.
Absolutely insane.
Ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Absolutely insane.
Never seen anything like it.
And they're absolutely insane. They're crazy. They've slapped 100 goals, haven't they? They've slapped way more goals than Liverpool have scored, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the other end of the pitch for them. All right. So you've both raised some important points, and we're talking about quality, the quality of the playing squad, the issues with attack, and whatnot. So how does that then come into play when reflecting on last night's game? In fact, first and foremost, Rilwan, let me hear your thoughts on the starting lineup yesterday, because he had to make changes.
Yeah, I understood why he made changes.
Yeah.
I knew we was gonna lack something when I saw that starting lineup, simply because I think there's a stat that we haven't won a game when Xhaka hasn't started. And I think Xhaka has become key to the team where he establishes the attack and possession. I don't think Torreira or Ceballos are good enough at doing that yet to replace him.
Yeah.
So I knew we was going to have problems from then. There's just not a lot to work with the team. So we're basically just trying to win games by the odd goal. And when teams score first, it seems like a proper uphill struggle to score 2-3 goals. So I'm not surprised by the result. I'm not surprised by the performance. It was a bit disheartening because it seemed like the players didn't really apply themselves. But after the two performances that they put in, I can give them a little bit of leeway because that's a lot to take out of the engine, especially with such a short turnover.
Okay. And Leroy, what do you think? I know a little bit about what you think because like I mentioned earlier, we were both on Discord together.
Like I said, I felt the game was pointless because if you look at the table, Wolves were 6 points ahead of us with a 5-goal difference ahead of us. Who else was it? Spurs. I don't think Spurs are going to lose. So I feel like the game was pointless. We're not really going to make Europe through the league. So I completely understand why he rested these players because we've had so many games thick and fast. The load is too much on a lot of them. So it made perfect sense to me. So I don't see any problems with the lineup whatsoever.
Okay. And then the performance as well. Is it much of the same of what we've already discussed in terms of...
So when you're trying to break down a Villa team, it's not very easy if you haven't got all of the attributes that you need. These are Premier League defences. I mean, some of them may be better than others, but if you don't have players who are even average at the type of things you'd need, we just don't have enough of these attributes in the squad to really actually go and break down anybody. Really, I wouldn't back us if any team in the Premier League decided they're going to sit in against us. I wouldn't back us to break any of them down. Yeah, not one of them because we haven't got the attributes, and that's it. And that's why the squad needs a lot of work, and we need a lot of additions.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. I fully hear you. It's a tough one, man, because I was watching the game and just thinking, like, there's no one who can do like
anything. There's no one that can do anything. There wasn't a man that could go 1v1 with his defender. Lacazette couldn't hold up the ball and bring people into play. There wasn't a creative passer. there wasn't even our overlapping wingers weren't really putting in any good crosses or anything. It was really, I think our best chance came from the corner from Nketiah. I think that was our best chance. Oh, and then the going behind when Aubameyang hit it a bit too hard, and he couldn't pick out Nketiah again. Like there's nothing to work with. Even when Pepe came on, I was hoping that maybe he would get 1v1 and at least carry on just putting on decent crosses. He didn't even. It was pathetic. Still, it was pathetic. I'm not gonna lie.
And you know what? That's what Pepe was supposed to be for. He was supposed to be that spot. But every time he squares up 1v1 with someone, he never seems to beat them.
I wouldn't say never, but it never seems to be when you need him to. No. That's what I say. So he'll do it on the halfway line. He'll get past the man on the halfway line, and then he'll hold it up again, and then the team's recovered, and it's like, okay. So
it's not consistent enough.
Yeah.
He's not aggressive enough with it. So, I mean, one of the absolute things we have to add to our attack next season is a dribbler who can go past people.
Yeah.
Essential for any top attack to break down the team.
Do you guys have a player in mind? Let's collect. To be fair, there's not much more that I really want to talk about that Villa game because it's pain and suffering. But if we're talking about what we need now, I don't want to relive that trauma. I can't do it. It's not, it's not good for my long-term mental health. But if we're talking about forward thinking and ways forward now, and a dribbler, is there anyone that you guys have in mind who you think?
Well, there was a reason I was screaming for Alexis Maximan.
ASM.
Before he came, because even though he can be a bit frustrating, he's just even 1v1. He's just gonna batter people like all day.
Yeah.
And you just need that in an offensive team sometimes. Someone who can do it in close quarters as well and has a good technical base at least. But I'm not sure what this Everton Suarez guy is doing still because everything seems to have gone quiet about him.
Yeah. I think that was a myth, I think he's owned by like 3-4 different people. And I think even just one of the parts are quoting like 30 million or something. So by the time we get through that deal, it's going to probably cost us something stupid like 50, 60 million. I don't think it's happening.
Well, if you want to go for a budget option, I would look at Jeremy Boga. From...
Where's Jeremy Boga?
He's in Italy.
Where's he playing? Sassuolo?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Has anybody watched Sassuolo? Because they had Berardi there. I don't know if he started to get his career back on track now. I liked him as a player.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I haven't taken him.
But,
I'm definitely a snob when it comes to Italian football, man. I can watch Juve at times. I can watch Inter and the odd Roma game, maybe Lazio and Napoli. Everyone else, meh.
Yeah. From youth football, we know what Jeremy Boga's been about. Like the best of them, Chelsea lot, and it's a shame that he had to go away to actually show what he's about. But yeah, that's one I'd take. But I'm not really sure who else in our price range at least. Forward for that 1v1 position. But he's one I'll be looking at.
What do you guys think would be sufficient? What would be a sufficient amount for the board backing? I'm talking about finances here. In order to support Arteta to push on next season, so to take this team up a gear.
What's the target?
100 million net. 100 million net. So that's not including sales. 100 million in addition, and then whatever sales we had on top.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that could address, by and large, a midfielder,
centre back.
And you know what, Sheln, shout out to Sheln. He said something. He tweeted something. And I felt his tweet, in fact, because he was saying actually, we do need a centre back. We need another centre back. A top quality centre back would do us some good. But actually, if we can get the right signings in the middle of the park and further up the field, it's not the end of the world if we don't sign a centre back. And then he talks and I'll explain why. Because, and he says it many times, and we've had these discussions. But when you're thinking about technical quality and technical security in the middle of the park, there are teams with probably worse defenders than ours in the league. And I think we've definitely had worse defenders than we do currently. You know, we've got by on the likes of Sigan and Senderos and Squillaci and, you know, these guys who were absolute bums, you know, so to speak. But our team was so much better then that it was less of a factor, you know what I mean? But where our midfield is so inept, yeah, and our defenders lack that quality as well, it becomes more apparent. But I'm not saying I don't want a centre back, but there's a line of thinking which has got me saying, yeah,
I
if
agree.
we had Saliba coming in, considering that we've got Saliba coming in, yeah, David Luiz is there for another season. Pablo Mari, he's not the guy I wanted, but yeah, maybe we have to back him and see what he's capable of, how he can come in and help out. And funds are going to be limited. I'd much rather use everything that we can to address other areas of the pitch and deficiencies in other spaces. So to really get in those two crucial midfielders and that winger, you know, I'd much rather do that.
You know what it is with our defenders? It's not even that they're completely bad defenders, but you can't account for brain damage. Like the mistake is always going to come. Like it's an accident waiting to happen. And I don't know how you build a successful team on the back of that. Like, so you, like, even though we might say like our defenders before were of worse quality, which they probably were, I don't think they had the same level of brain damage that a David Luiz or a Mustafi has. Do you get what I'm saying? Like for any moment of the game, they can ruin the whole game plan because they've just done something that they didn't need to do. And I don't, that will deflate any team's confidence. You cannot account for that. So I don't know. I don't know if you can say that centre back isn't a pressing issue. But even though it actually is a catch-22 too, because the midfield and the wide men are actually quite trash.
The midfield is the most important, I think, though.
Yeah.
The midfield.
Yeah.
Because if you obviously make some changes, if you had a solid DM like Thomas Partey, you had really good technical midfielder in front of him, on top of the Danny Ceballos if we manage to keep him as well. You had a 1v1 player wide, you put over up top, that changes a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Hell of a lot.
Yeah.
But then you also got to remember that these players are going to make us play more expansive, I think. And then we're going to have to put a lot more pressure on these defenders we're only saying are capable because we put them in a system that can get them, that manages them through the game.
You need people that can defend space. That's the biggest problem. If we can't defend space and you're trying to expand and play a more attacking style, we're in trouble. The good thing is to Libra, he definitely can defend space. No problem. So,
David Luiz can't defend space.
He can't. Yeah, neither can Mustafi. Neither can Socrates, really and truly. The only other one that can, neither can Bellerin. The only one that can is Tierney. So
everybody agrees that midfield is the first priority, and then afterwards wide man, or afterwards defender, and then maybe wide man, maybe. Or what order would you? Because I think we all agree that midfield is the key. And then after that, where would you go?
I think our attack is actually worse than our defence. So I would actually go with wide man first. Not even the individual players, the cohesive
the construct.
It don't make no sense.
And our offense is shit as well. So boy, we're in trouble.
Yeah, I think that box to box midfielder, absolute necessity. An incisive passer. We've got Ozil, who is just
he's gone, man.
We don't have. You know what I mean? We've got a player who we don't have. So you know what I mean? Like that's a pain in all of the wrong places. But we need and we lack a creative passer so bad. What I would be inclined to do is bring in Partey, who actually could give us a range of different options in midfield in terms of the different roles. I'd look to secure Ceballos on loan, and I'd still look to bring in a final third passer, an incisive passer, someone who could do their damage further up the field.
I'd bring in two,
and can pick holes, and then I'd also, and then for the rest, I'd bank on Emile Smith-Rowe and Willock, and they'd compete for minutes, you know, and maybe Saka could depend on who else comes in as a wide man. Maybe Saka could compete for some time in the middle of the park or out wide as well.
All of them youth players, even the good ones, need to be squad players. None of them should be starting.
Yeah. None of them are
where
off
we
that
want to
level.
get, where we want to go, they should all be squaddies.
Yeah, none of them are off that level. And then, yeah, man, a 1v1 player is so essential, man. I hear the ASM shot. I don't think it's a reality at all.
Nah, it's on a 6-year deal, bruv.
Yeah. Done, man.
Who are these Frenchmen? Who's advising them, bruv? Because you had Papa Gay say, sign for Watford. I don't want to play for them. And then got sold like straight away to Marseille like the other day, and they haven't played the game for them.
Yeah.
And, you get an ASM sign a 6-year deal, like
that's crazy, man.
Sign a 4-year deal and then bounce.
And then bounce, man. Bounce after 3 years, man. This is crazy, bro. This is absolute crazy. 6 years at Newcastle is nuts, bro.
He's not staying there for 6 years. He's gonna.
What's he get? I mean, who cares? He's weekly wage anyway. But yeah. All right. I mean, I hear that. Fair enough. Thoughts to Watford now. Final game of the season. Watford are in their own turmoil. Are they still fighting for survival?
Yeah. But I think they're in the relegation zone now, right?
So they're fighting for survival. We've got nothing to play for. What should we do? What should we expect for Sunday's game?
They're going to beat us anyway. They're going to beat us anyway because they
care about it.
Yeah, they're the type of team we struggle against. Physical team who's good defensively, who can run us off the park, and we're not going to be able to break them down. So I would throw the game. I would not play anyone who's of any value.
I'd give bare academy players.
And I would make sure I put everything into the FA Cup final. Because even though I'm worried about this FA Cup final, like, it's a must-win game.
I think we can win this FA Cup final.
Debut for Balogun, do you think?
Yeah.
For the Watford game? Yeah.
Anybody that's available should get their boots out.
Ben Sheaf.
It's like the Oprah Winfrey show, isn't it? Everyone gets a set of keys. Everyone gets a set of car keys.
The canteen lady, Simon needs to bring his boots. Like, everybody.
Wait, this game is mad. Look at that.
Yeah. What, did you just see the Pulisic goal?
That was a sick goal, cunt.
And that's
equalizer. What do you mean equalizer?
No, I'm saying no.
That was 4-3.
Oh, mad. That's crazy.
That's the problem with writing off talented young players too early. Everybody was dissing Pulisic before he comes.
I love Pulisic, man. I think he's wavy. I think he's good. He's good.
I like Pulisic, man. I like Pulisic. I've had many a discussion with
if you've got pace
about Pulisic,
and you can make intelligent runs, there's no reason you can't have a very good Premier League career still.
And he's got something you can't teach. He's got elite mentality. He will not be denied. I love his mentality. He's one of them typical American sports stars.
Should we? Maybe it's too early to talk about that final. You know, I was saying, do you guys want to give
I think we should talk about signings more. You know.
Well, we're going to do that in a Patreon pod.
Yeah. Come on, man. This it ain't for everybody. You know, let that be your reminder. Yeah, you know, we're here to give you the stuff, man. But you know,
get your wallet out.
Throw up some coins. Yeah, throw up some coins for it. You know. Yeah, man. Sacrifice.
Shout out to all, however many of you have signed up already.
Yeah, every week. Leroy's dead serious about it. You know, Doc's serious about his words. You know, he shouts you lot out every single week, man. Big you lot up. Big all of you guys up. Yeah.
Well, this morning, Les Morris, you signed up today. Big up you, man.
Yeah, there you go. You hear that, Les? There you go. Aubameyang. The talk is that the deal is closed. Arteta spoke about being happy with the way that the talks have been progressing. What has been widely reported this morning and this afternoon is 250k a week. We don't have any details yet about the length or the duration of this contract or extended terms or how the deal's structured or whatnot. What do you guys think about that? Happy with that?
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I think it'll be very dependent on Europa League if it does happen.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if we lose that final, it's going to be another story.
You know what? I thought about it and I'm like, during Corona, not a lot of teams are going to have money to spend. Not a lot of teams are going to pay wages like Arsenal will pay wages. Because even as a as a non-European team, we should still be able to pay him like a higher wage than most of the other international teams. Barcelona are still trying to go for Martinez, so I don't think they're interested in him anymore. So it would only be one of our domestic rivals, I think, that would be after him. And I don't know. I don't see any of them going for him.
I think I'll be worried about Inter Milan. I'll be worried about Juventus. Juventus are losing Higuain. That's why there are rumours around Lacazette. Inter Milan obviously is the backup option, and because they're going to lose one, probably Sanchez, they're not going to keep, and Toro they probably might lose as well. So they're the two teams I'm really looking at. Who else is there?
Will they pay him more than us, though?
Huh?
Will they pay him more than us?
Yeah, because they've got that new tax law in Italy.
Okay.
So they might not. So net wise, he will earn more because that new discount fee.
Okay, cool.
So that's why.
Yeah. Okay. For me personally, on the Oba deal, I keep saying this, but I would like to see. I don't have an issue with the what we're paying him at all. I would like to see a deal which means that they can extend the terms of his current contract, or extend the duration of his current contract. On better terms. So the $250K a week starts now, but rather than give him a 3-year contract starting now, just extend the end of it. Just throw 2 years onto the end of his current deal. I think he goes.
That will be a 3-year deal anyway. That's because I think that's what will happen. It will get a deal when he's 34.
Yeah.
Deal from now, 3 years
until he's 34 years old.
Yeah. And you can't give him some incentive as well to sign because he's still a free agent, no matter what. So we have to actually give him some kind of security. At least say, okay, you're settled here. Here's these many years. You won't have to think about your future, innit?
Yeah. It is a risk, though. I do want to say it is a risk. It's a risk where you got a player. We don't know how much longer he will continue to perform at this level for. He's been very good for us. He's been amazing since he came into the Premier League. We've, relied on his goals. His goals have been like one of the only sources, the only real source really for us, bar a few odd teammates chipping in here and there. But we're so dependent on him. So it's a non-brainer in terms of keeping him. But you don't know how long he's going to maintain this form for, this level for. And
I think he'll be all right.
That's the risk.
I think he'll be fine. Yeah, worst case scenario, he ends his career a bit like the Defoe in it, where he's a super sub. And I think he could net at least 12 goals calm off the bench because his movement is crazy. If he still has that little yard of pace, he'll be all right.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else from you guys? I've got some listeners' questions. I just wanted to know if there's anything else you want to
let's run through these questions.
Yeah. And bounce. All right. So we've got one from Thierry 2021. Oh,
is he a Discord member?
Yeah. These are all from the Discord, by the way. These are from the Discord, by the way. We've kind of answered this. Which midfielders should we prioritise? Can ESR come in and start? I think, Leroy, you answered this already, where you said all of our academy kids really should be
backups, and ESR should not be starting for where we want to go.
Yeah. No.
We should prioritise Partey as an absolute priority.
Yeah. Again, this is kind of linked. This is linked to it. Tommy Ajay. Tommy Ajay, basically. It's clear as day we need a total revamp of the midfield. What profile of midfielder do we need, and what players would you sign then? Again, I think we kind of touched on that, covered that. Anyone
more of that's going to come in the Discord one, the Discord episodes. We've got that coming for you.
Yeah, coolio. Chris_Dede has asked, do any of you think Ozil should play in the current team given our lack of creativity, or do we freeze him out until we find someone to take him off of our hands?
Ozil's done. He's done.
Freeze him out, he's not motivated.
Yeah.
And then even what he brings to the team, we're going to lack some kind of effort and defensive structure if you add him into the team. And he's not someone that's really good off the bench anyway. So if he's not starting, I don't really see the point in him.
Yeah. He hasn't played for however many games we've had since we've come back as well, man. It looks very clear.
We need to end the story. Like we keep bringing him up, bringing him in, bringing him up. Finish it. Like even if he wants to sit out his contract, let him go do it in the gym. Like
but just stop talking about him. It's true. I personally am not going to ask another question about Mesut Ozil because I think we're done, man. I think we're all that fantasy, you know, is beautiful. We all know the player that was in there, and you know we've seen what he could create when he was in that environment that allowed him to thrive. But also, you know, there's that other side of his game. There's the other side of him, which is just terrible. Which is, you know,
thanks for the FA Cup, Ozil.
Don't give us that. Man, I'm not asking any more Ozil questions. Yeah, let it be known. Loads of questions about midfields. You know, midfields. Let me ask this one. Johan has asked, do we stick with a 3-4-3 going into next season, or do we move to a different system again?
No, bruv. No, I don't like this. This is a needs must, man. I don't want to see this again. I did.
Yeah.
I'm open to see whatever gets us results. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really. I do care about the style of football, but right now I just think we need to get a strong enough base in it, and to do that we need money. So we need results. So I'm happy just for us to get the results for another season, and then I expect to see a better style.
Coolio. And sorry, it was Chris Dede reading Higgy. He's a screenshotting for me, by the way. So, Aaron 3K has asked, which free transfers do you think Arsenal are looking at? Aaron, this is disgusting. Wait, so
who we're looking at, or who I want us to be looking at?
That's Patreon.
His question gets worse. I can see Lallana, Fraser, Thiago Silva, or Willian coming in, unfortunately. Okay, so he said unfortunately. So it's not who he wants, but...
Look at this bum ox putting his bloody... It's 5-3, fam. You're putting your bloody arms out like you did something mad.
Yo, Rilwan, focus.
No,
fuck ox, man.
Who Arsenal are probably looking at? Whoever's Kia has got on his fucking books. But we're definitely looking at Willian.
Yeah.
We're probably looking at Fraser as an option if we don't make Europe at all.
Yep.
Thiago Silva, we're probably looking at every free transfer because we're trying to save money.
Yeah.
Who's on a free, we're definitely there looking at them.
And he's only mentioned Prem free signings, but there are some players across Europe who have come to the end of a contract. Malang Sarr is the one that I'm keen on.
Yeah, I think we'll go for him. I think that's definitely,
He's a young centre back. He's the type of profile that we need. I know your reservation, Leroy. He's 6 foot.
I don't want no small.
He's not tall enough.
But ain't he tall?
He's 6 foot.
5'11", bruv.
He's 6 foot. He's 6 foot. He's 6 foot. He's 6 foot.
You know, his Twitter 6 foot, man. Be real,
bruv. All right, I've got one more. Yeah, go on. I'll ask this one. I can't pronounce this name, mate. I'm sorry, bro. Gyaki. I don't know, mate. But he's asking, what profile of player should we be looking to sign for left wing next season? Direct pacey winger or wide playmaker? And who do you guys have in mind? So again, kind of touched on it, but we said that's not a realistic option in terms of ASM.
Yeah, so, 1v1 demon. That's what we need. And then we said before, Jeremy Boga for me. I'm not sure. I haven't really checked the stats, but that's one thing you need to check, the dribbling stats. Go look at the top leagues. Look who's at the top of the dribbling stats.
Guys, do you think if we get a 1v1 demon that actually improves our style of play? I think if we want to see the football that you don't want to see, I think we should be going for a wide playmaker then.
Nah, because Pepe kind of behaves like a wide playmaker.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a wide forward though. So
the way he plays football is like very coming off the touchline, in link, combine, create chances off his left peg. I think a 1v1 player allows us to destabilise defences, which is our biggest problem and one of the most important things that will help our chance creation. So maybe not improve our style of play, but it will massively improve our chance creation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you know, we had hoped that Pepe would be our 1v1 demon, and he's not. So we need one because we don't have one. So yeah, that's kind of what I want. That's what I'll be looking for as well. You know, to be honest with you, in terms of if we're going to go out and sign a left winger, he has to be able to beat his man. He has to. He has to be unpredictable. He has to give us something different, man. He has to be able to stretch teams, stretch defenses, and yeah, man. Just I want a bit of a maverick in there. You know what I mean? I want a bit of a maverick, man. It's been
We never really
some
had one.
time. Have we had one things on Henri?
We've never had a winger like that. I don't think we've ever had a winger like that.
No.
Yeah.
We've never had a winger like that.
Yeah, it's true.
Like someone like young CR7, Nani, them kind of players.
No.
They usually go United. That's the kind of, if we're gonna go and get a wide man, yeah, that's exactly what I'd like as well.
Yeah.
Wenger never played like that. Wenger was all about combination football.
Yeah, it was all playmakers.
Yeah.
Team full of playmakers. Everyone, number 10s everywhere.
Yeah. I suppose, Nasri was a wide playmaker, but he was just so good with the ball at his feet that he could beat players easy, man. He could, he knew how to, twist up his man, as I'd say back in the day. But yeah, man. Yeah, I think that's it for the questions, really, man. We've answered it. We've answered enough. If I haven't asked that your question, I'm sorry. Keep them coming. I'll be sure to look out for them next time. And as for you Twitter folks, man, asking questions on Twitter, that's old news, man. You lot got to sign up. You got to get onto the Discord. That's where the priorities lie. No, I'm joking. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming, guys. Guys, that's it for me, unless there's anything else from you guys. I think we're going to wrap it up there and call it a night. Yeah. Okay. So, again, listeners, once again, thanks for locking in and rocking with us. Just again, make sure you go and check out the Patreon for all that exclusive additional content. Make sure you sign up to the Discord and join us in on the live match chats. And also find us in your usual spaces. But also, if listening on audio is not usually your thing, then check us out on YouTube where you could get the full episode. All right. Take it easy, guys. Peace out. A-time. Down.
Bless.
Right, cool.
All right.
Bless you, man.
I'm going to bed.
I love.
Stop recording.
Yeah.
When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.